Now we'll stop and ask ourselves, what is going through their mind if that is the case? What is their goal and what is their desire? Is their desire something as one-dimensional as I just want to control things? Or is their goal something like I want eternal life?
There's another aspect to it, and I think this applies to Davos, is the banality of evil, which is that you have, for example, at Davos, you have a lot of politicians who are thinking, what am I going to do after I'm kicked out of office? I need a high-paying job. And then you have a lot of the corporates who are there who have a ton of money, but don't have the power that the politicians have. So they want to be there. So they have their own individual personal ambitions, which is driving them there. They might not be thinking, how do I control the world? Some of them, I'm sure, are thinking that. But I think a lot of them are thinking, how do I make my life better? And so they go along with what ends up being evil sort of phenomena of evil groups like that.
I have a feeling if we do create purpose and productivity, that it will take some of the burden off of Klaus Schwab's mind. Because I don't look at him as like a violent psychopath that wants to burn. I think they're trying to prevent World War III and they're desperate. And so they're like, put them in pods. I don't know.
What? But look, it doesn't matter.
I mean,
Ultimately,
I disagree. Benefit of the doubt at the very least.
I disagree.
Look at this guy attacking the motorist, right? This guy thinks he's stopping World War III. This guy thinks he's stopping climate change. But he's clearly a deranged psychopath who's doing nothing but attacking random innocent motorists.
Yeah,
Klaus Schwab's no different.
Yeah, he thinks he's doing good, but what he doesn't know, or he's taking a risk on, is that centralizing authority has never really worked on the human
But it has always been something that many people have tried to achieve throughout human history. And no matter how many people they slaughter and enslave, that is always their end goal and has always been their end goal. And to think that this doesn't exist now when it existed all throughout human history is very naive, because now with the technology, now with so much power, with so much influence, with so much wealth concentrated against so many few individuals, they have an abundant amount of resources. They have quantum computing. They have artificial intelligence. They have new technology that could essentially help them live forever, while everyone else is going to be, of course, enslaved to this system that they're building all around us. And when we look at what they're incentivizing and we look at what they're attacking, what are they attacking? They're attacking religion. They're attacking purpose. They're attacking labor. They're attacking the middle class. They're attacking any human beings being productive, doing good things. What are they incentivizing? Social justice warrior woke causes like this. They're incentivizing a divide and conquer agenda that has people fighting each other. They're incentivizing a system that is essentially order out of chaos and creating this horrible situation where we're fighting each other and not even having real deep discussions about how big the rabbit hole goes and who's really in charge.
Because they don't want to be challenged.
Exactly.
You're right about the control, but I think they're more like the villain from Kingsman. They want people to erase themselves.
My question though
And
is,
they are.
who's they? I mean, it's kind of tongue in cheek.
Davos?
Klaus
Schwab?
exactly. Like Klaus maybe has one motive, but Xi Jinping has another motive, and Joe Biden has a motive, and
Putin
together, like maybe one of them is a violent
They're all
psychopath.
like mafia crime families, but they understand that if one family or if something else threatens the alliance or the game that they're playing, that they take them out. So when you look at everything, it's multiple factors, it's multiple organizations working together, and they have a shared goal. And obviously, sometimes they fight within each other, but they always make sure that the game continues and the game is rigged against you.
One of the reasons that the problems they identify are, for example, not poverty, but inequality, or let's say it's the environmental crisis, is because those are issues that cannot be solved, the problems that they identify, that cannot be solved from the ground up. Rather, we need to hand over our power to the technocrats. And that's maybe where the power thing comes into play, that I think I probably agree with you.
As they're funneling and fueling the problems. Look at George Soros and how much money he's throwing at district attorneys. What has been the cause of George Soros spending about $1 million on every district attorney? What has happened? What's happening in America right now?
I just read the story earlier. There's a mass exodus out of New York, and there's a mass migration to Florida. They say just in the first quarter, 10,000 people swapped their New York state IDs for Florida IDs. New York's in a state of decay.
Hasn't happened since COVID. There's hundreds of thousands. I've heard
all of these Democrat cities are just ripping themselves apart.
They vote blue and then they don't like the policies and they leave.